Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to join in with the intensity and stressing the extraordinary nature of this measure that was expressed by the budget chair. Some decades ago, when we talked about renewable portfolio standards and we passed AB 32 and we changed tailpipe emissions, we characterized the challenges that we faced as climate change. I would suggest today, as the chair of the budget just suggested, that we recharacterize this. It's no longer climate change, it's climate changed. And as a consequence, it requires us as a legislature and as the governor to fight on a two-front war, to deal with the various issues that we have to face that are causing extraordinary impacts in our lives and across the environment. At the same time, we have to promote policies that seek to prevent furtherance of climate being changed. The communities that, first of all, let me start by saying, I think I want to stress a couple of these points, I think they're important. The state of California experienced its hottest August on record in 2020, just a year ago, with temperatures reaching 130 degrees Fahrenheit in Death Valley. In the communities that I represent in the San Fernando Valley, which is ground zero for this extreme heat, Woodland Hills hit 121 degrees, Senator Jones, last September. And that's the single hottest temperature ever recorded in Los Angeles County, members. The stakes could not be higher. On average, extreme heat kills more people in the U.S. than every other natural disaster combined. I repeat, extreme heat kills more people in the United States than tornadoes and fires and floods and hurricanes that we're seeing on the front pages of the newspapers, even this morning in the LA Times. Along with record-breaking heat, members, came a record-breaking fire season, as we note. The 2020 fire season was the largest in California history, burning more than 4.2 million acres and shattering any previous record, which was just set 2 years earlier in 2018. The devastating fire season took 33 lives and more than 10,400 structures were destroyed. It also, most importantly, spewed, as has been talked about in this floor of the last few days, enough carbon dioxide in the air to equal the emissions of millions of passenger vehicles over the course of a year. With more than 2 million acres burned so far, just in this year, 2021, fire season is proving to keep pace and maybe exceeding what happened in record-breaking 2020. And the already destructive fire season will worsen this fall, with long-term forecasts showing little signs of relief. California also finds itself staring down another crippling drought, hardly 5 years after the last historic drought that I mentioned with respect to an earlier bill here today and as the budget chair referenced. All of California is already experiencing at least a moderate drought conditions, while 46%, members, 46% of the state is experiencing exceptional drought conditions. At the start of the calendar year, only 1% was in this exceptional condition. State and federal agencies across our government continue to reduce water allocations in response to drought conditions. And these allocations are low as we've not seen, and they're at historic levels. Extreme heat, wildfires, drought, sea level rise, as the chair indicated, we're all in the midst of this new climate reality, as I suggested, not climate change. This is our new, unfortunate normal. Without drastic mitigation measures, these climate events will continue to become more frequent, catastrophic, and costly. Now this budget, I want to stand tall and stand with the budget chair and say that this is the single largest investment in climate resiliency in the history of the state. I repeat, this is the single largest investment in climate resiliency in the history of this state of California. As the chair indicated, it includes $15 billion of new spending dedicated to fight climate change, wildfires, drought, and improve our natural environment. This budget, as was indicated, includes $300 million to protect people from extreme health extreme heat through tree planting, cool structures, and cutting-edge technologies. $1.3 billion will be invested in properly managing and reforesting California's majestic forest. Millions of acres have burned and now need to bring California together to reforest. Over 300 partners throughout the state of California from all corners of the state came together to secure $280 million to make our neighborhoods and communities greener, cooler, and more climate resilient with investments in trees and urban greening. So much of what we do on policy with respect to climate change deals with agencies and government language that folks don't understand. I remember I used to talk about climate change years ago in the Central Valley. Climate change meant that your air conditioning stopped working. The standards and the issues that we have to focus on are neighborhoods, real people, real people's lives. And trees are the best frontline defense against extreme heat. Trees are multi-beneficial and cost-efficient green infrastructure. In fact, trees are the only infrastructure that grows in value over time. In 1 year, a mature tree will absorb more than 48 pounds of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. An acre of forest can absorb twice the CO2 produced by the average car's annual mileage. We have fought hard to make this historic investment, which goes directly to California neighborhoods, from redwood forests to the southern border, to protect people from the threats of wildfires, extreme heat, and droughts. That is what's so fundamental and important about this budget, and just doesn't address our climate reality. It improves the quality of life for our neighborhoods. I know I'm going on long, but I just want to say a couple more quick points. This budget is about taking action. It's about taking action. It's not about long-term plans 20 or 30 or 40 years from now. People's lives are being impacted today. Extreme heat is impacting people's lives today. Forests are burning today. We need to marry the long-term view, but also take a view in terms of impacts on people's lives, and that's what this budget does at historically high levels. I ask for your support of this measure.